morning, everybody. Good morning. How's it going today? Good morning, Chris, Will, and Rico. Chris got his number one back. Yeah. Hope y'all are doing well so far. Hope y'all had a good day yesterday. They might take a trade later in the day. Morning. All right, let's see what today has in store for us. It's another day, like I said yesterday. I'm not expecting much, to be honest, from yesterday, today, even tomorrow, maybe even this week. We'll see. But let's go ahead and dive right into it. We did get that daily volume imbalance. Here. Big volume imbalance. All right, so now we have already ran previous day high, yesterday's high. So we'll see if we want to come down and fill in this volume imbalance. Not too sure that we will today anyways. We might just kind of wait and see because we do have this swing high up here, which I believe that's going to be all-time high there. And, yeah, so we may just make a run, back down into here and then try to just keep being bullish. We'll see. But if we do come down, have that daily volume imbalance there. 4-hour chart, like I said, I'm not too concerned about it during my session, but I do have to know we do have a couple fair value gaps in there. So we may not pull all the way down, and, we'll just have to see. We may just pull into this one. We may pull back into this one. I have to rely on the lower time frames to see what that looks like because we very well could just pull back here or here and then go up and take these highs over here to the left. Then I'm going to go down to my 1 hour. 1 hour here. Same thing on the 1 hour. We just yesterday, we just ran straight up, left all this, which we have that daily volume balance here. So if we do come down, I could see us rebalancing this, at least coming right back down to this high, this previous day midpoint. We'll see. I got to rely on my 15-minute. So my 15-minute, of course, we have this swing low way down here. And then we have these highs, right? We just moved way up. And we'll see what we do there. But there's nothing too obvious to me. So right now we have this volume balance and this low down here. We do have somewhat of relative equal lows down here inside this volume balance. So maybe I could see that happening. Otherwise, we ran up, made this high, took this smoothness up here. There's nothing really obvious that I think we need to aim for. So now I have pretty much these little lows. I have the London range marked out here. I have these lows, which I marked out as a sell side liquidity because that's my most recent sell side liquidity I have is basically these relative equal lows here. And then I have this high that it left equal highs up here. So that's going to be my buy side. So I'm just looking at that. And then I'm looking at this. That's really all I have for the most part for today, and kind of all I'm expecting for today. I'm really not expecting a lot. So I wanted to see if we could take this sell side and then maybe head up to that buy side, which looks like, because I'm more bullish overall. However, I don't know. I'm keeping in mind that we could reach down to that daily volume imbalance. But overall, of course, I think we're going to just keep heading up. We just need to see if we rebalance and like where we pull back to. So let me drop down to my 5. As you can see, we opened. We did run and take those relative equal lows here. Now I want to see if we're going to run up to basically through the highs and keep going up. Like I said, we may keep going down, but until we really prove and show that we're going to go, basically below this area here, I'm going to look more bullish. If we are obvious and we just displace and just keep heading down, then, of course, I got to change my opinion and my mind on that. So we'll see. Let's go to the 1 minute. This is kind of what it looks like on the 1 minute here. Took that sell sign. Now we did leave these relative equal highs up here. after 9 a.m. So we may go up there. But whenever you see this, like especially if I had a sell side liquidity here and we just tapped it, we very well, it is possible we could make a move up back up into here and then do another stop run here and take everybody out before heading up. I always wait for that extra stop run, because that it doesn't always happen, but I see that often, especially when we barely went below like that. We still have London low right below it, but when we barely went below, there's a lot of times I'll see it come up and then make another run, stop run, and then come up and go up. So just being patient. Let's see if we have an opening range gap for today, which we do. We had our close there. We opened there. Opening range gap. Oops. Okay. So now, just going to be patient. Like I said, I'm not expecting a whole lot again today. Or even this week. So definitely going to have some patience and just let the market kind of show its hand to me. Volume. Oh. I'm quiet? Like you can't hear me? Or what? Chris? Show's pretty good on my side here. Oh. Yeah, it's pretty much maxed out on my side. I think it's... Unless everybody says my volume is low. It may be you, Chris. Because it's maxed out. My little device here. I got to remember what this thing is called. It's... I don't even remember what this is called. That I plug my mic into. It's like a equalizer kind of thing. And then it plugs into my computer. But it's pretty maxed out. I don't want to max it out anymore because then it'll get distorted. Oh, it's just Chris. Okay. Yeah. It's always just Chris. Any technical issues, I blame Chris first. And then if another person has an issue, then I can say it's not just Chris. Okay, so I got to get used to... I keep looking this way because I moved my chat over here, but my camera's on this side. So maybe I need to move my chat back. Because I feel like I'm looking all crazy left and right. Okay, there we go. Now I can at least have my chat on the same side where my camera is. It's because I have more stuff on this side that I look at on that side. Anyways, I got too many monitors. All right. Yeah, there's not, I mean, so if y'all see, I'm just relying on like I kind of said yesterday, I'm relying a lot more. I mean, I've always relied on my 15-minute chart the most. Like that's been my bread and butter chart. Everything, most of my analysis for my trade comes from the 15-minute. But, you know, there's so many times that I've seen the 1 hour and 4 hour where I'm like, man, I see a fair value gap or a PD array, order block, something. And it's turned me away from a lot of good trades before because I've looked at that higher time frame and I'm like, oh, there's, you know, shouldn't go much past this. And price a lot of times will overshoot it on those higher time frames. and then I'll miss out on a good trade because I'm worried about that higher time frame. And I'm not saying I'm not worried about the higher time frame, but I know price could dig into those higher time frame PD arrays more. And oftentimes when I see a 4-hour fair value gap, a lot of times I'll see price trade all the way through it, maybe not invert it, but trade all the way through it to rebalance it and then continue, versus stopping at just like, let's say, the high or the low of the fair value gap. For example, this is the 4-hour chart. This fair value gap like this right here. Instead of just trading like right into it, you know, like you would on a 1 minute or 15 minute, 5 minute chart where it trades into it, maybe stay in the upper half and then go. I notice so many times, most of the time it'll rebalance it completely. Maybe it'll still close in the upper half, but trade through it, rebalance it completely, and then keep going. So there's been so many times I'm like, well, there's a 4-hour fair value gap right here. And if I get like a short here, I've passed on it many times before because I'm like, oh, there's the high of the fair value gap is just right there. It's going to stop. But that's not always the case. Oftentimes it trades and rebalances it before it continues. Just something I've watched and tracked for quite a while now. Oh, let me erase this. Yeah, I don't mark hardly anything anymore. Any 4-hour fair value gaps, 1-hour fair value gaps, even 15-minute fair value gaps. I just take a mental note on anything that's important. But even the 15-minute ones, like my framework and what I'm shooting for target-wise, it shouldn't, like if there's say a bearish fair value gap at SIBI on the 15-minute, but I have a strong target above it or through it somewhere, I'm not going to mark that 15-minute. I'm expecting it to trade through it to get to that target. All right, so here's that push through. Like I said, I fully expect this, even if I think I'm bullish. Overall I'm bullish, but today I could see price going down. So I'm more neutral. I'm not married to it going up or down. I do want to see on the short term a run below here. And then I want to see now, do we try to make our way up here? If not, we're probably going to head down to at least maybe even that daily volume imbalance or the midpoint of yesterday. Right in here. So if I measure this move, basically this high to this low, we have equilibrium of the move that started this run up is right here at about 203. And right below it, you have that 15-minute fair value gap. And this would be the 1 15-minute fair value gap that I would pay attention to right here. And that's midpoint of yesterday, last week's high. This would be the area if we come down to, I would watch to see if we can get past. And if we get past this area, then yeah, we're probably going to head down to that volume imbalance. Do we do that today? Not sure, but that'd be kind of what I'm watching, what I'm looking for. Otherwise, I'm looking for this. Last, like I mentioned earlier, when you do this and it pulls up, oftentimes we're still going to do another stop run and a sweep below that level. So now, this is what I like to see. This down here. Now I want to see, do we create, do we invert this, create an inversion? Do we have a market structure shift? Do we get a fair value gap? I want to see all this stuff. Do we get a breaker, where we have a low, high, lower, low? We could have a big breaker right here, right? And that would mean this last inversion right here in that breaker is the golden one. That's the winner if we get that. But you got to be patient. And then I'm looking for a failure swing on the bottom. So if this becomes, I'm not saying it's going to, this is the low right now, right? The lowest low. But if this becomes the lowest low and we get a failure swing where we come down and create another swing that can't get below that, then we'd have a failure swing, right? We'd have this low. That would turn into the long-term low on the 1 minute chart. Then we get a failure swing. We'd see if, then I'd start looking for that market structure with the long-term low. Oh, I put an H. Long-term low, intermediate-term low, short-term lows. I'll start looking for some failure swings for the structure on the bottom, and then we'd see if we get an actual market structure shift and everything to head to the long side. If none of that pans out and we keep going lower, like I said, this is where I'd be aiming to down here. I really do think we're going to go. Well, I'm pretty neutral right now, so just got to wait and see. Especially with everything going on right now. Earnings this afternoon, earnings tomorrow, CPI Friday. It's like, wait and see. Yeah, I can't wait till I get some more Apex accounts. Will be coming soon, and we'll see what sell they have next. Hopefully, they have another good one. No, Chris, I purposefully keep my chat not too close. That way I can look at my chat when I need or want to. It's because whenever the live stream starts building and more people show up like used to, people start I'll get people telling me what they think I should do or what they think price is going to do or might disagree with my analysis, which is completely fine. But I can't shift my thinking to what the chat thinks because then it'll throw me off. So I purposefully don't keep the chat where I can see it for that reason. Yeah, I have some evals right now, Chris. I have some evals, but I have a bunch of them that are going to renew. Probably, actually, from now until the end of the month, like probably 3 or 4 at a time. We'll keep because I have like 20 something evals that are all. A lot of them were not active, and now they're going to renew. So they'll start renewing. That's why I haven't added more, by the way. For those of you wondering why I haven't added more accounts, it's because I'm letting all the evals I have, because if you have a blown eval and the monthly renewal comes up, then it'll reactivate it. So That's what I'm waiting for over the next, between now and the end of the month. I'll have like a whole bunch renew. And then I'll pass those and have my funded accounts again. Yeah, Chris is definitely Chris definitely wants to keep that crown with the number 1. Blame Shadow for the, yeah, I know. I blame Shadow too. For what? I don't know. I just blame Shadow. All right, so if you look, and if you've studied the 2024 mentorship, right now you can kind of see it playing out, right? Where you have some smoothness up here, and you have the jaggedness working. They're working the market here, and then we'll see it run up. If that plays out, we'll see. For the moment, I want to mark this one here. We got this fair value gap. We technically have a market structure shift. I'm not going long just yet. But we are looking like we're creating the structure here. We took this swing high. We do have this fair value gap. This one right here, we have not been able to really trade through yet. So I want to see an effort to push up through it before I consider going long. I also have a 5-minute gap right here as well, fair value gap. And if we do come down before really showing an effort to get through this, then basically I'm going to wait to see if, well, first of all, we do have this fair value gap, but I want to see if this area right here holds up. But that's if we don't show an effort that we're going to trade up through this. Okay. Now we're good. If we come back down to this here, I'm probably going to go long. See how much of a stop I need. 31 points. We haven't inverted it, but we're trading up through it, and I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. 953. We have this wick right here, right? So I'm not going to immediately hop in this. I want to see, because we might overshoot this fair value gap and get down into this here, around this 239. So I want to see, I want to make sure we're going to hold up here. We went into the fair value gap. See, this is that potential overshoot. I want to see the reaction right in here. That's why I didn't want to go long yet. Now we might get a failure swing. If we get a failure swing here, I'd be more interested in going long. But with this reaction, I'm definitely waiting. See if we get a failure swing, and then I want to see this get rebalanced because potentially we can be leaving a big fair value gap to go short. And if we get this fair value gap and we don't rebalance it, then I think we're going to head down. So like I said, I'm not married to my bias today. So I didn't care about this. And that's where I was saying sometimes just looking at a market structure shift pattern where you have a low, you have a swing high, takes that high, that's not always going to be a good market structure shift to just go long at. You also got to look for the long-term lows. See if we can create an intermediate term low or a short-term low. And wait for the structure on the opposite side. Not just your typical low, high, lower low, and taking that high. That's what ICT says is not like, we're not just looking for patterns like that. $9.31 first presented fair. Yeah, that's the first presented fair value gap. $9.31 right here. You don't do 9.30. Sometimes you'll have a 9.30, but that only depends on the regular trading hours. Which I never really figured that part out. So I'll stick to after 9.30. All right, so we did another move. We took this low. We didn't get a failure swing, actually. So now we may actually be going short, down lower. We'll see what happens in this fair value gap. $35 points if I want to take it down there. Because at this point, I think we are gonna head down. Because we should have created this structure here. We shouldn't be hanging out this long down here if we were going to go up. It may go up during another session. So now I want to see what happens right here in this fair value gap, this SIBI. And I may take it lower. Yeah, I'm going to go for it lower. We'll see. We got the 10 a.m. hour about to happen here in 30 seconds, so structure looks like we're going to head down for a bit before, like it's looking, I'm not thinking it could still go up, but for the moment we should have not made this move right here if we were going to go up just yet. So we'll see. If this gets inverted here, then we may go up. But I really think we're going to head down to, this is the 15-minute fair value gap that I'd be watching here. Now, I got to watch, though, because if we start getting a failure swing and everything happening down here, then we may not go. So I always continue to monitor this and see. If we could take this swing low, if we could take this low here, leave a fair value gap. I really don't want to see it trade back above this. So we'll see. But now we may be getting a little bit of a swing failure, but not really. So we'll see. We're trying to leave a little fair value gap in here. Need it to just keep displacing lower. But still liking this. Got the little fair value gap. We shouldn't hang around here very much. We should take these lows if we're going to continue down. But if we still hang around here and really kind of fail and give another swing failure, then that's where I'd be careful. But at this point, I don't see any reason why we're not going to head down lower to this area down here. Okay, now we got to get through this low. And I would want to see some displacement through it. See, I don't like that right there. And look where the bodies are closing. That's what I don't like. Still not seeing a reason, really, for price to stop just right here. But it could. Until we take this swing high right here and invert this fair value gap, I have no reason to think this is not going to continue. And I could move. I'm not moving my stop because I got to give it the room. Because really, the main invalidation of this is if we come up here and take this swing high. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold on to it. And if we take these lows down here, then we shouldn't return back up to here where my entry is. So at that point, I can move to break even if we can run these lows down here. But it is having a lot of trouble for sure. Now watch the bodies. We got to keep watching the bodies here. So I came right back down to the bodies. I need to see displacement through here to regain some confidence. Like I said, I'm not married to a bias today because I have reasons on both sides. I'm more bullish overall, but today I could see it coming down. So I have reasons on both sides. So I'm just relying more on this lower time frame. But look at the bodies here. So this is the probabilities just went down big time because look where the body's closed, and now it's reaching right back up in here. It took this swing, which that's okay, but where it's rebalanced completely right here, and this is where I now want to see it displace lower if it's going to win. How it rebalanced this, now I need to see some displacement lower. Otherwise, we're going to go up, and I'm going to take a loss. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at here. See how it's hanging out up here? It's not looking good. It shouldn't be reaching back up to up to here, so it may want to come back down for that later, and it may go ahead and run my buy side. So we'll see. At this point, the trade is still, I'm still, good with it until it reaches up here. That's why I'm gonna stop there. But I always look for what price should and shouldn't be doing while I'm sitting in a trade. Like, it's still okay, but at this point, like, since we've rebalanced this gap right here, this 1 minute gap, we should, if it's going to go lower, it should displace lower. But if it doesn't displace lower now, then we're going to just creep our way up, and we're going to run long. So if it doesn't displace lower here pretty soon, then that's going to be it. And you can see the bodies, all the bodies stopping here. That's not good. One more touch right back down into here. So let's see if we can displace down. If not, then it's not going to look good. Let's see. Yep, it's not going to displace. It should have displaced and kept going from there. So I may exit this. Really struggling. Let's see. Right here in this little fair value gap, which I'm not worried about this little fair value gap. I'm worried about the displacement. We should get some displacement here if it's going to go lower. It's really struggling to get that displacement going. I do like the current structure. We should take these equal lows down here, but it's just, with no news and everything right now, there's not a lot of drivers in the market. Yeah, I'm not worried about the 4-hour fair value gap, Chris. All right, right back down into these wicks. Got to displace. Failing. It's just failing in this area. We should get down there. Yeah. This should have displaced. We'll wait and see. Come on, baby. Yeah, the only reason why I put the dollars on there, Chris, is because of uh, when I chop up the clips and put them on social media. Because normally I pull my dashboard over so you can see it, but since I don't have a dashboard to show right now, and whenever I clip them up on social media, you don't see that dashboard. So I put the dollar amount there. But the dollar amount doesn't bother me anymore, especially because I'm on 1 mini right now for a while, and I'm not going to 2 for a good while. When I go to 2 minis, that's when I'll switch it back to ticks. That way everything looks the same, because it'll mess you up. If I'm used to seeing $50, $100, $200, and I go to 2 minis, and then all of a sudden you're seeing 200, 300, 400 double, that can mess you up psychologically. So that's why I never recommend showing the dollars. Let's see, if we keep failing to displace, I may have to exit this soon. Because my rule is I'll sit in a trade for a while, and if we show the patterns of failure, I don't like to sit in it and wait and find out unless it keeps giving me, because I like the market to tell me, keep showing me what it's going to do. And if it keeps showing me failures, then I have to believe it's going to fail, even though the trade is still validated. See, you shouldn't be doing all this. Should have displaced. So I'll keep watching, but until I don't think this is gonna win, because it's showing me all the failure signals here. So I still have my risk. I have my stop up here in case if it does want to displace lower. But at this point, if we just keep doing this, and if we can get back down to a potential break even, I may just close it break even, because I don't think this is not doing what it should be doing. So if anything, that's why I mentioned these lows here, because if anything, we make a run down to take out these lows. If it's going to be wrong, then I'll definitely move to break even. But yeah, this one is not showing me much. Like, I really don't like it. So, and if that's the case, we are going to go long up to this area that I thought. So, yeah, if we can make our way back down here, get to a... Now, obviously, if it just, like, displaces and goes, then I'm not going to exit. But if we creep our way down here, then I'll probably get out at a respectable place. We have a volume imbalance right here, a little volume imbalance. If I zoom in, right there. So we may trade back to that. Yeah. Now, if we look like we may get a fair value gap, I may hold it a little bit too, but I'm really, like I said, this is not shaping out the way it should. And that's also what happens when you have more of a neutral bias. Like, it can go either way. So that's why I hate when I have a neutral bias. I'm more bullish, but I have reasons to go down. This wick right here telling me we're not coming down. So this is right here. You see how it reached all the way back down? Closed up here? We're going up. Let's see what happens in this fair value gap. Hopefully this fair value gap is enough to push it right back down to break even, which I doubt it. Yeah, see? You got to take the signs. These signs right here all told me we're probably not going down. We're probably not going down. So reaching right back up here into this fair value gap. We'll see if that's going to be. That's why I have my stop up here. Still valid until it takes my stop out. But I kind of keep. That's what I do like when I'm in a trade. I have the invalidation point. And then I have what the market's telling me. And then I have like confidence levels. So this trade, based on everything it did here, I lost confidence in it because it's doing what it shouldn't be doing. So now, if it does return back down, I mean, I'm just going to basically, like, it could still go, but the likelihood is low. It's a lower probability now. So if it does come down back down here, that's when I'm really going to consider getting out at break even. If possible. That might not even be possible. So. And that's the problem with this week. I'm telling y'all, I didn't like this week. So, yeah, this is going to lose. I didn't like this week. So, we'll see. Tomorrow may not be too good. Thursday's the day before CPI. I don't trade that day. And then we have Friday CPI. So, we'll see. And see, I had a lot of opportunities to get out at break even. And even here, like when we failed, this swing failure, and then we had this one where we ran down and failed. Like, those were all the signs. I typically don't like to just get out, though, like that. Because we have the shifting down here, but then we have this side still looking okay. But like I said, I was still more so looking at it to run up here. That was what my preferred that I mentioned this morning. And you could see the smoothness up there. And then it was working this area so it could run up. But with this move down here, and then we were kind of hanging out down here with me being neutral and seeing that lower potential area where we could go lower, I was looking to make that run down lower. But didn't work out, and the move ultimately is going to be the long that I was looking for originally. So, hey, that happens. So now, There's not even really a good long entry that I would have liked. So we have this big inversion right there. But yeah, so this would be my target up here. This 304, 305. Right here would be my minor buy side liquidity right there. That's where I expect it to go, and then ultimately running up here to 317.50. So and see, that's the way it works sometimes. Like, if it's a double-edged sword, because there's times where I'm married to my bias and I'm like, oh, I know and it depends too. Like today, like I said, I had reasons for price could come down, and then ultimately reason for price to go up. So I wanted the market to really show me, and I just didn't love it. So I liked the long better, but yeah, it's whatever. That's how it goes. I've considered that, Tony, trading in those competitions, but I'm not. So all these competitions that you see, they last for like not long, right? Like days and actually I looked into the Ninja Trader one. The qualifiers was a 1-day qualifier, and then you move on to the next steps. I'm like, for me, a 1-day qualifier is terrible. I don't win the 1-day games. I win the long runs. Like, if there's a competition that's 3 months, I would join it, or more. 3 months or longer, I would join it. Because that's where I win, is the long run. Because most people don't have the right money management, and they don't, they lose control before the longevity can kick in and putting the probabilities on their side. So that's why I don't care about the day-to-day. And any competitions that require a day-to-day or even a week-long, it's like, nah, it's not worth it for me. See, this right here would be like, okay, so this gap is something I wouldn't be too high on entering, this fair value gap to go long, because you have this leg here. You take the high of this leg and what started the run up. The midpoint of this leg is right down here, 251.75. It very well could overshoot this gap, trade back down into here, and let's see, if I didn't take the wick, the midpoint is right here. So it could overshoot that, trade right back into here, maybe even into this area before going up. Right there. Maybe even right here. So you can see that's why sometimes you'll see like these higher gaps, fair value gaps up here get overshot like this, because it's just going to reach down. You have this leg that when it's in the upper portion of that leg, I don't like taking those fair value gaps. And then if it does reach down lower and then displace up, this long candle could be a bullish order block potentially. But yeah, at this point, definitely believe we're going to go up here. But that's why I don't take another trade, because I got it wrong. And I framed out, I thought my original trade, I was looking to go long up here. But then it ended up looking like, I was neutral. So I was like, okay, we could go to this fair value gap down here. So it looked like we were going to have that happen. And obviously, I was wrong for my trade. So now I can't just say, oh, well, we're definitely going to go up here and hop in long, because that might not happen either. And for me, it's either, every loss, I always think, is it me, the market, or both? And, today, I never try to analyze that until later in the evening when I look back at my charts. Because right now I'm in the moment. So for right now, I could be like, oh, it's just the market. The market sucks. But it also may just be me. I could later look back at this and say, man, I really should have waited. This looked like we are going to keep going down, but really, I had reasons to go up, but then I should have waited to see if the price gets worked in this area. Like, there's a lot of things I can look at, but that's why you have to go back at the end of the day, or at least give yourself a gap, a space between the time you traded and then when you do a review. And if you don't do a review every day of your trades, you're missing out. So you have to give yourself a gap to get your brain, your mind, a reset off of the current situation. And then when you go back and look, you'll be like, okay, I see why. So that's just my 2 cents on that. But you see how it's dipping back? That's why I do not ever take these higher fair value gaps here. And now, of course, it's probably going to run all the way down. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen. But see, that's why I don't take a long. That's why I don't take another trade. And later this evening, I could be like, you know what? It was the market. Or, it was me. We'll see. Either way, that's it. So. See, and now we're shaping up down here. Got some long-term lows. We'll see. But whenever I have a strong, when I have a really good target, I have a really strong bias, that's the trading that I really, really like. Because then it's like, I know where price is going and it should get there. I don't like when I have both sides of the marketplace an option. Especially like today, because now if you just have a buy side, sell side liquidity, in the area, that's different. But if you have on a larger time frame 2 options, that's the part I don't really like as much, because we have the volume and bounce down here, and then we have the highs up here. Like both sides are very, very high probability of going to. It's just now at that point, it's like, which one does it go to first? So you kind of have to wait. So anyways, all right, well, that's it for me today. And if you're going to keep trading, as you know, always trade well and take what the market gives you. So I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see what happens. And now, yeah, there we go. We're going to run. So I wasn't ready to run, but like I said, this price action today with earnings, CPI week, just know you got to take caution. Things like this can happen. Things like this definitely can happen. So that's where discipline and money management have to come into play. Win in the long game. Put the probabilities in your favor. You'll be just fine. I know I will be. That's why I don't worry about one single loss. But anyways, all right, y'all. I'm going to head out. And thanks for joining. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care, everybody.